If I win a couple of trophies at Liverpool, it'll mean an awful lot more to me if I win 10 at Chelsea or Inter Milan or Real Madrid. It always means more when you win for your people.
Stevie is the best player that I have ever coached. Yeah.
For sure, the one that made me a better manager. To stop him or to try to stop him
Gerrard!
is being very, very difficult.
It was Gerrard! Hello! Here we go! Steven Gerrard!
What if I told you the most defining moment of Steven Gerrard's career wasn't a goal, a trophy, or a celebration, but a decision not to leave?
Do you ever wonder what might have happened if you'd have followed him to Real, Inter, or even to here?
In an era where players jumped ship at the first sign of a better deal, Gerrard stayed. He stayed through the heartbreak, the near misses, the rebuilds. He stayed when others would have walked, and in doing so, he became a symbol. This is not just the story of a great player. This is the story of the legend who refused to abandon the club he loved, even when it meant sacrificing the glory he so clearly deserved.
I've got to look at the big picture, growing up as a boy, dreaming of playing for Liverpool just that one time, and sitting here now with 708 appearances, I've achieved an awful lot more than what I thought I would at the beginning.
Born in Whiston, just 8 miles from Anfield, Gerrard was Liverpool through and through. From his debut in 1998, Gerrard didn't just play, he imposed himself. Early on, he was all energy and wild tackles, but over the years, he sculpted himself into one of the most complete midfielders the game has ever seen. He could pass like Xavi, shoot like Lampard, tackle like Gattuso, and lead like no one else. But more than his skills, what defined Gerrard was his character. He wasn't content just being great. He had to be responsible. Responsible for the team, for the badge, for the city.
The squad wasn't, what it should be. And he carried them to trophy after trophy. And he turned up in all the big games. Well, the guy is just phenomenal.
If you want to understand Gerrard, you need to understand Istanbul. Liverpool are 3-0 down to one of the greatest AC Milan sides ever assembled. It looked over. A humiliation on the grandest stage. But then, in the 54th minute, Gerrard rises above the Milan defence and heads the ball into the net. Arms outstretched, he doesn't celebrate. He roars at the crowd.
Steven Gerrard puts a grain of doubt in the back of Milan minds.
That night, Gerrard didn't just drag Liverpool back into the match, he willed them to victory. It was his energy, his belief that infected the rest of the squad. They drew level, they won on penalties, and Gerrard lifted the Champions League trophy as captain. It was the peak, the moment people thought would define his legacy, but ironically, it wasn't.
Were you tempted?
Yeah, very much so. When Jose Mourinho comes calling, it puts a player in a very difficult situation.
Because what came after Istanbul revealed even more about Gerrard than the triumph itself. 2005 again. Just weeks after that Champions League miracle, Chelsea came knocking. Mourinho, at the peak of his powers, wanted Gerrard. Roman Abramovich was willing to break the bank. Chelsea had the trophies, the money, and the momentum. Liverpool were unstable. Gerrard almost left. For 24 agonising hours, he was ready to go. He even handed in a transfer request. But then something clicked. Maybe it was the thought of wearing another shirt. Maybe it was the weight of the liver bird on his chest. He stayed. And that one decision redefined everything. Because while players like Lampard, Scholes and Vieira had systems built around them, Gerrard was the system. He carried a Liverpool team that, in truth, was often below his level. And yet he never complained, never chased a payday. He wasn't interested in being part of a super team. He wanted to build one. Let's not sugarcoat it, there was pain. 2007, another Champions League final, lost to Milan. 2009, Liverpool finished second in the league with 86 points, one of the best teams to never win the title.
Oh, given away, here's Demba Ba! It's 1-on-1! Demba Ba for Chelsea, scored! Can you believe it?
What a mistake by Steven Gerrard.
I knew what that meant, that Premiership, to an awful lot of people.
Gerrard miscontrols a pass against Chelsea, loses his footing, and Demba Ba scores. Liverpool's title challenge, their best shot in decades, evaporates. For Gerrard, it was gutting. The images haunted him, and the internet never let him forget. But here's what separates Gerrard from the rest. He never hid. That kind of pain, it breaks most players.
I'm not scared of failure, even though I know that it stays with me.
In the end, Gerrard didn't win the Premier League. He didn't lift as many trophies as he deserved. But ask any Liverpool fan who their greatest ever player is, and most won't hesitate. They'll say Gerrard. Why? Because loyalty still matters. Because Gerrard showed up every week, not just in finals, but on rainy nights against Stoke. He bled for the badge. He dragged his team through mediocrity, carried them to cup finals, and gave fans hope when there was none. He gave the club an identity. He was proof that loyalty, passion, and heart could still mean something in a sport increasingly driven by money and stats. Steven Gerrard could have left, and nobody would have blamed him. He could have won the Premier League multiple times. He could have become a Galactico. He could have erased the pain. But then he wouldn't have been Gerrard. Because in football, there are stars and there are legends. And then there are those rare few who transcend both, not because of what they won, but because of what they stood for. Steven Gerrard never let Liverpool down, not because he was perfect, but because he was loyal. He stayed when it was hard, he carried the weight, and in doing so, he became eternal. Thank you for watching the video. If you did enjoy it, please be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.